Hey everybody, what's going on? It's me, Laura, and welcome to my channel. Today's video is live, but obviously you're not watching it live. So I'm just gonna do a little live Q&A. You get to ask the questions, and I'll be pulling some questions from my YouTube, or this is YouTube, but I'll be pulling some questions from my channel. And just answering some of the questions that you guys have. So again, hey everybody. I know that if y'all watch my lives, you know that I like y'all to be interactive. So it's not like I'm talking to myself, which I guess technically I am, kinda. But y'all here with me, you talking with me. So hey, I'm really glad that y'all have decided to watch. I know I have been gone and stuff, and it's just been crazy. Do you hear me? Crazy, crazy, crazy. Work has been just like, woo. We had a trip to Detroit. So I was in Detroit for about almost like a whole week. So just got home. I'm finally recovered from that because that took a lot out of me. So, hey, Brandy. Brandy says, hi, Laura. Hey, Brandy. I was literally looking at dispatching on YouTube and seeing your face. Well, thank you so much for watching. I'm glad that you're watching. I really love y'all, and I missed y'all. Hey, Tab's perspective. Tab, how are you? How's the dispatching going? I try to remember everything about everybody who writes me on here, but it's kind of hard sometimes. So if I have any oversight, charge it to my head and not my heart. But like I said, I don't know how long I'm gonna be on here. Probably as long as y'all ask questions, I'll be on here. So yeah. I don't have anything to do but laundry, and I really don't want to do it. So I'll be on here with you guys. Okay, so Sunshine says, aside from the critic call, what other tests do you have to take to become a dispatcher? Excellent question. If you look at my videos, let's see if I can pull it up right here. On my channel, I have playlists. And it is, if you look at my playlist on my channel, it is this one that you can't see that good. The 911 hiring process videos, and it's 6 of them. You said, what other tests do you have to take? There are no other written tests in the qualifying for the job, but there are other tests that you have to take once you get hired on as a dispatcher. You have to take whatever state licensing you have to take. So in Texas, it was TCO, Texas Commission on Law Enforcement. So you have to be licensed with TCO. You have to be certified. If you do EMD, which is emergency dispatch training, which means you can give medical advice over the phone, or not advice, but medical instructions like CPR when people have abdominal breathing and things like that. It means that you can help them in that way. So there are other tests that you will have to take, but as far as the hiring process, the only other weird test is going to be your polygraph test, if you want to call that a test or not. But that's the only other thing that you'll have to do. As far as testing, before you get the job. So Shantae says, hey, girl, hey. Dispatcher is my dream job. You know what? I never, before I became a 911 dispatcher, I never even thought about being one. It was really interesting. I had, left a career that I had been in for years, and I had lost my dad, and I just really wanted to be able to help people who were in crisis. And so I went back to school for counseling, and I said, what is the best way that I could speak to people, influence them, and be able to help them in ways that'll help me professionally as I become a counselor? And I thought, why not be a 911 dispatcher? And so, yeah, that's how I, even began applying or even thinking about becoming a 911 dispatcher. And I wish there was a me or somebody at that time on YouTube to help us out. But I made it. I made it, praise the Lord. And now I'm here to be able to help you guys. And so I'm excited about that. Tab's perspective says, it's going good. I'm training on one of the first busy law channels now. Ooh, exciting. It's a little overwhelming at times. Do you have any tips for keeping it all together when the channel gets busy? Ooh, the only I remember the hardest thing for me is when, because I did NCIC dispatching. So NCIC is a National Crime Information Center. And so you do background investigations, background checks and stuff like that. And so we'll have officers to go from their regular PD channel to our NCIC channel to ask us to look up people, names and backgrounds and stuff like that, check them for warrants and all of that stuff. Sometimes it would, like you're right, it would get overwhelming. And so at one point in time, I was like, I can't keep up. And my trainer, she said, you need to ask them to stand by. And I was like, I can do that. And she said, if you have somebody that asks you to run 10 names complete, and then you have someone that's asking you to run a tag or to check, run a car for stolen. You have all of these people asking you to do all of these things. You can't do all of them. So sometimes you have to ask them to stand by. And what that means is stand by, like, give me a second. But sometimes on a PD channel, you can't have people standing by. The only time at our agency, people would ask them to stand by if they were doing traffic. Now, with traffic, traffic is one of the most dangerous times that an officer can be out, because they're out with somebody and they don't know who it is. They don't know what they've got. So officers usually run traffic. As they're running traffic is usually like while they're still in their cars. So if you have somebody say, 2 Charlie 2 traffic, you say 2 Charlie 2 stand by, and then finish what you're doing. Then 2 Charlie 2 go ahead, 2 Charlie 2 traffic. Whatever you say. However you all have to talk to your officers, you just do it that way. But it is overwhelming. It takes time for you to figure out what will work for you, what's okay in your agency. But my trainer always said that, it is overwhelming, but you have to prioritize and, and let officers know, like, hey, da 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 da. And, we calling records and doing all of this stuff, and it does get overwhelming. So just tell them to stand by. When you tell officers to stand by, usually they'll send you a message like, listen, it's still stand by. Hold on. But yeah, it takes a lot of practice, I wish I had the answer, but for now, just ask them to stand by for a second, not for a second, but just ask them to stand by. Hopefully your trainer's okay with that until you figure out a system and something that works well for you. So that's cool. Hopefully that's helpful. Sunshine says, what do they ask you on the polygraph test? Okay, so I am going to, again, like, it's not that I don't want to tell you, because I really do, and I will tell you some things, but I already made a whole video on it. And so I want to encourage you to go check that video out. Like I said, it's in my playlist, the 911 dispatcher hiring process, and it is called Polygraph and Panel Interview. But on the polygraph, so the polygraph exam, you are filling out a form first. You fill out like a document and asks you lots of questions, like yes and no questions. Ask you about drugs. Have you ever used drugs? Have you ever sold drugs? And if you say yes, they ask you when was the last time, things like that. So you fill out you fill out a personal history statement and with the police department or the agency you're working for. Then once you get to the polygraph test examiner's office, you fill out another form that has a lot of questions, like yes or no questions. And then you have to answer them, as you go, like yes or no. Gosh, I hate lives because I'll be confused. You have to answer those questions in a yes or no form. Now, if you answer yes, you have to explain the yes. And then the polygraph examiner is going to ask you the same questions. And I think it's like maybe 6 or 8 questions. I can't remember. That's why you gotta go watch the video. It's like 6 or 8 questions that they ask you. They're gonna tell you what they're gonna ask you before. It's like, have you ever used, not have, other than the times you've admitted, have you ever used drugs? Did you leave off anything on your application so that you can get this job? Have you ever, like, it's like sex for money? So things like that. And they just ask you the same questions over and over again to get a read on how you're feeling about it. So I hope that answer was helpful. But for a more in-depth answer to that question, go and check out that video. I will say I link it below, but I don't know how to do that. And this is live. I can't link it below. So I'll try to put a link in the video description box when this one uploads. But again, like I said, go to my videos playlist, check out the 911 hiring process video. It'll have all of those videos that you need to get hired. I promise. Ask the people. They know, they were here. They are dispatchers because they watched those videos. All right. Brandy says, are you able to give advice on the post-examination? So the post-examination is different in every step, in every state. So I could give you help, but I'd have to look through my old stuff because I really don't even remember the T-code test that we took. Honestly, I just remember studying for it. I remember it had some law questions and, just different things like that, telecommunicator questions. So yeah, but today I can't remember to tell you, so I do apologize about that. I just can't do it. Listen. Shantae says, I moved to a small town in Johnstown. I moved to a small town in Johnstown, where it's hard to get a state job. Ooh. Yeah, sometimes just depending on where you are, the opportunities aren't as available as they are in some places. So yeah, you just have to keep on trying. And if you are persistent and, apply for the jobs as soon as you see them available, then that's helpful. Or even apply for an agency that's not like right there in the city that you live in, like somewhere, a little off from there so that, you have a better chance, a greater chance, I think. Sunshine, I know they asked you a question regarding background. Yes. You're right, Brandy. Sunshine, yes, channels of guys. Oh, thank you so much. Listen, I started making these videos. It's real funny because if you like go back in the day, I've had this channel since like 2009. It's been like 10 years. That is crazy. I first started this channel because I lived far away in Virginia and I would be so bored. And so I would make stupid ass videos because I don't know, I was bored and I didn't have anything to do. I really didn't have friends where I lived. And so I needed an outlet, a creative outlet. And so that's how I started my YouTube channel. So if you watch like my old videos, they are videos about like hair and makeup, which I still try to do some of those videos, but those aren't what pop on my channel. When I made a video initially called My Life as a 911 Dispatcher, my whole channel just like changed. So it's now a 911 channel and some lifestyle stuff because that's what I like. Okay, anyway. I'm all distracted. Sunshine. Oh, no, you said that. So Haley says, hello from Texas. Hey, Texan. Girl, I'm Texan too. I'm just out here in Kansas, doing my thing. She said, hello from Texas. I have a polygraph exam this month for the city of Mesquite. Love your videos. Cool. Haley, yay. I lived in Mesquite just before I moved here. And I actually, if I would have continued, so I did this little series where I kind of like went through the hiring process with a couple of different agencies just to kind of see what it was like so I could give you all new perspective on it. Mesquite was one of those places. And, like I said, I lived in that city. So yay, shout out to the 75150. That was my zip code in Mesquite. I lived, since I don't live there no more, I can tell y'all, I lived right behind Celebration Station. So on Restaurant Row, so I used to always go to Razoo's and give me some Gator Punch. I'm glad I moved away from there because now I can save my money for happy hours. Not just I sit at home. Mm, Yeah, that's it. But anyway, hey, good luck on your polygraph test. And if you have any questions, definitely either A, watch the video, because I'm sure I'll answer the questions in the video, or ask it over here. And Tab's Perspective says, okay, cool, thank you, I remember that. Yeah, and I think I was telling you about the asking them to stand by. You can't do that too much because one, they'll get annoyed with you because you having them to wait, and cops are impatient. But two, like I said, once you've been doing it for a while, those things are just, you'll start to retain them. And once you put like your syntax in your command line, then, you're good. And it's just really that syntax and remembering, like on like a Friday night when you have just things rolling in, like remembering to put them in and then remembering to give the officers the return. And God forbid you have like a chase or something where they have to shut down a channel, and then you're only working that one thing, which is not bad, but you're working and then you have like, however many officers talking at once. But then the other channel, if y'all have like 2 or 3 channels, like where I worked, we only had 2 PD channels. And so the other dispatcher would have to take all of the dispatching for like the whole city. So then that gets a little chaotic. So yeah. Y'all just be chatting it up, which is cool. I like that. Scott Scarborough says, I'm in my first week of training. Your videos have been a great help. Thank you. Oh, yay. I'm so happy. For real, y'all. I'm just so happy that I could help. Trust me when I tell you. I'm telling you, I wish I had some help that can go. So what I'm going to do is just, I haven't been doing that good at answering my comments just because like I said, I've been gone. So yesterday I started answering a few comments, and then so today I'm just going to read some, and then, well, no, not like that because I don't want my video to play. I'm going to read some and then answer the questions, like if it's questions or whatever, just so, because I know that if these people have questions about it, that I'm sure what happened. I'm sure that y'all do as well. Okay. So my first comment just says, I just have to say, oh, this is one that's sweet. It says, I just have to say, whenever I see your videos in my recommended list, it always makes me smile. I just love seeing your beautiful smile on your thumbnails, and thank you so much for your bright and upbeat personality. Your videos really give me reassurance while waiting for my dispatch exam. Oh, thank you so much. And that came from Max to the Extreme. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Like, really, I really, 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 really do. Oh, you guys, I can't be crying on camera. And this gray hair right there is popping. Like, I'm getting old, guys. I'm getting old. Look at that. I'm sure that came from 911 dispatching. Oh. Anyway, that was my alarm to get ready for my live that was supposed to start at 9. And I said, forget it. I'm ready now at 8. All right, Nicole Bruce said, my polygraph is next week. Wish me luck, and I'll definitely be watching your videos. Thank you. Oh, yay. Good luck with everything. Yeah, I would say with any test, any of these tests that you do for 911, you just have to stay calm. They want you to stay calm when you're answering the calls, and so you definitely need to stay calm for when you're doing all the testing, because if you're not calm during all of that, you'll never make it through as a dispatcher. I can tell you that now. Ball says, watched a couple of your videos and took the test once. What resources and study materials do you suggest? Also, want to say thank you for everything you do. PFF, gray hairs mean nothing. Got those in my 20s. Oh, okay. So to answer the first question, well, it's only really one question. There is no type of study material. I mean, you might find a couple of little things online, but they're not equivalent to the actual test. So I would suggest if you are not a strong typer to practice your typing. Um, because I know, like I said, I've taken like 3 or 4 critical tests, and I know that one agency that I took the test at, you had an actual paragraph that you had to type in, but another agency, as you were typing in like your answers for the questions, it was calculating your speed, your typing speed then. So exactly, I'm not exactly sure what the agency that you're applying for is going to do, but it's important to know that they do it both ways. So if you're not a strong typer, I would suggest getting on like a free typing test site and just going in and like just learn how to type. Like that'll help you tremendously, not even just for the test, but it'll help you so much in the actual job itself because you're going to need to learn how to type. Because people are talking, they're talking fast, and you don't have to, type verbatim what they say, but you need to be able to type clearly and in a way that people understand what it is that you're saying. So that it makes sense, basically. I know they may not mean anything, but shoot, I'm just now getting them. And I don't know, it's just different. It's different for me, okay? It's different for me. I'm not used to this. Like, I'm used to having my silky black hair. And look, there's another gray hair right there. No. Anyway, okay. First of all, I said practice my typing and typing test site. And the county I went for the test had no typing test, at least for the first round. Yeah, that does not make sense. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. I know typing is important. So even if they don't ask for it on your critical test, it's just important to do it all, which no, none of the critical tests that I took, none of the critical tests that I took, or all of them that I took, had some typing test element. So that's peculiar. Nonetheless, you're welcome. Um, I have another comment. Oh, I answered that one, so I'm gonna read that. I'm not gonna read it. I don't know what see, y'all forgive me. Cause somebody on here being a damn fool, and I really don't like it when they do this. Like these little idiotic fools. And I don't have time. Like I hate having to block people, do all of that dumb stuff. I don't like to do that. But you know what? Y'all are fucking idiots. Like, y'all, anyway, what what good are you doing? Like, how would that make you feel better? Slave. Ooh, he's so cool because he called somebody a slave. Let me remove his ass. Bye. Lord have mercy. Anywho. All right, so I had to delete his messages, so hopefully nothing else pops up. See, I don't know what's going on and where these weird ass people come from. Like, obviously I'm black, duh. And if that bothers you so much, like, why are you here? Like, why are you looking at my black burn ass? Like, I don't understand. Anyway, Furball, Furzball said, heck, I was tempted to practice dispatching on a role play GTA server. Hey, it might work. Like, I heard that there's a 911 dispatcher game. I don't know. I never even played it, so I'm not exactly sure. Say don't feed into it. That's crazy because this is brand new. Like brand new. It started happening maybe about a few months ago. And it's not bad. It's only like occasional lives that I do. And yeah, the first time it ever happened though, I was really shocked. Like really, 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 really shocked. And like I got upset afterwards because the guy that wanted to date me or that I had broke up with or whatever at the time, he might be watching this video now. Who knows? But he didn't even stand up for me, and that kind of pissed me off. Like all of my subscribers were like going in on dude, and he didn't, and that hurt my heart. But it's over now. So yeah. All right, let me get back to the questions. This one just says, thanks for the video. This is from Samantha Giles. Thanks for the video. I received a job offer for dispatching. Waiting for background checks to come. Yay! That scared the F out of me. Let's give Samantha a thumbs up and a heart smile. Y'all make sure y'all go on these different comments on the videos and read the comments and stuff, because people say some really good stuff and have really good advice and opinions and are very, very helpful. So Shakidra Smith said her anxiety has slammed me today. I went in to take the exam this morning, was way too nervous. I'm due to take it again in about an hour. Pray that I pass. Thanks for the video. Aw, girl. The anxiety will get you every time. That's why you gotta just stay calm. I'm gonna write on there. I understand. Stay calm. You got this. It is hard, y'all. Sometimes staying calm is hard because you want to do your best, and you also think that you're gonna mess up, and you don't want to mess up. You want to do good. Like, that's what I hear all the time from people. It says, this one, I says, I'm taking a test tomorrow. I'm a little nervous, but ready to see how it goes. Thank you for the videos. Oh, you're welcome. And I always want to know. Like, I ask, like, how did it go? And I'm like, I genuinely care how it went, because I want to help people out as much as I can. Someone asked, when they say, do you use drugs? And you say yes, but you did it when you were in high school. Well, it's not. That's an incomplete thought. So I'm assuming it's supposed to say, when they say do you use drugs, and you say yes, but you did it in high school, is that okay? All of the drugs, like, they'll have like a whole drug list on your personal history statement. It'll be like all of the drugs, not all of them, but like all of the like mainstream drugs, and then some of those undercover drugs I ain't never even heard of. You have all of these drugs and stuff on there, and it'll list, it'll say, have you ever used this drug? When is the last time that you used it? How did you use it? Who did you use it with? And where were you when you used it? Like, those are the things that they ask you regarding drugs on every type of drug that you've ever done. Some of them have disqualifiers. So let's say the agency that you work for or applying for says, yeah, you could have done marijuana, but it can't be within the last 5 years. So if you put on your form that you hadn't done marijuana within the last 5 years, then you're not going to get disqualified from that job, for that, because of that question, because you meet the parameters or whatever. However, if you say that you haven't used drugs in the last 5 years, and then when you take your polygraph test, you fail that portion of the question, of the test, then that it will lead them to believe that you falsified information on your personal history statement, and you may not get the job. I say that to say, be as honest as you should be as honest as you can. Okay. Be as honest as you can. And if you fear that you being honest will prohibit you from getting the job because you don't, you know, um, meet the mark, or you've used the drugs within that time frame, you can tell a story. Everybody has their own choice. You just got to pass the polygraph test. So I'm not telling you to lie. Don't hear what I'm not saying. But I'm saying, if you do not tell the truth, and if you do lie on the polygraph test, if you do lie on the personal history statement, just make sure you can pass it on the polygraph test. Next question. Says I received. No, I'm not gonna do that one. This one says, great video. I'm applying for the agency that you were hired. I'm applying that you were hired. Okay. Listen, some of y'all done guessed where I used to work at, which is kind of cool. So don't blast me. I appreciate y'all for telling me privately. Um, but yeah, a lot of y'all have guessed it. And the reason why is because quite a few of you have gone to work there or have applied to work there. And at first, I wouldn't tell people when they would message me and say, oh, I just, I'm applying at this place, blah, 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 blah. Uh, people know me. It's like, oh, I sound like, so yeah. Great video. I'm applying for the agency that you were hired at. Just from your responses, I can sort of tell which agency you were hired at. I'm from Missouri, so I'm pretty nervous about moving out of town and having to adjust to a new city. The most overwhelming part to me is not knowing any of the major streets and being so confused when the callers give me their location. Hopefully I can adjust and everything will work out okay. Oh, that's a great one. I think I did a video on the things that you need to know when you first, going into being a dispatcher, and learning the directionals and the roadways are very important. And the fact that she said this and she worked at where I used to work, I know that they stress that. Like they even take you on like a tour of the city for like 2 days. The city ain't even that big, but they take you on the tour of the city for like 2 days so that you can learn the streets, which streets go which direction, streets that border the other cities that we border, streets that have name changes in the middle of the city or outside of the city. Like you have to know all of that stuff. Like it's crazy. You have to know apartments that are individually addressed versus one main address. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Like a 911 dispatcher, you gotta be smart as hell. I mean, we are. We're freaking smart, multitasking, ADHD, nosy people. Like that's just what we are. Let's see, we got some more comments. Yeah, somebody asked what was the website for the dispatcher game. I don't know. If somebody knows it, you can put it right here. I mean, put it in the comments, but I don't know. Key of Me says, hi. Oh, that was Desiree Dixon. But hey, Desiree, I don't think I even spoke to you yet because you just start talking when that idiotic fool was on here. Anyway, but hey, Desiree. And hey, Key of Me. Turned in my background investigation document almost a week ago. Couldn't remember a lot of dates. Think that'll hurt me? Yes and no. I know they want you to put as much as you possibly can. So I don't know what you mean when you say dates, when you talk about dates or whatever, but excuse me. But if you're talking about like dates of like places you used to work, I would try to, do as much as you possibly can. And I'm sure they told you that even like approximate dates are better than like nothing. So hopefully that was able to help you. That was able to help. All right, Amber says, is it bad that I don't have a criminal background? Wait a second. Is it bad? No. Is it bad that that I don't have a criminal background? I have never done drugs or anything illegal, but I'm scared that the background investigator might be a little suspicious. Any tips? No, like it's okay to not have done any drugs or anything like that. Like nothing's wrong with that. There are people who are good, and not that you do those things you're bad, but there are people who've never been to jail. I've never been to jail. I've done things before, but you shouldn't be scared that they're going to be suspicious because you haven't done anything. Like I can't give you tips on that. Like you really honestly are in the most ideal situation, just because you don't have anything in your background to worry about. So you good. Like don't worry about things that you don't need to worry about. Not having a criminal history, not ever having done drugs, not ever, don't worry about that. Worry about something that matters, because that is a good thing, not a bad thing at all. Max to the Extreme says, hey, baby. Hello. I just answered your question from YouTube that you placed on my video. So that's neat. It wasn't a question. I think you just said that you see my videos and you recommend it. So I went through some of my questions, and that one was the last comment that I had. So, hey, interesting that you popped up. Desiree says, hey. First of all, USPS has practice exams to practice quick memorizing addresses. Oh, that's really good because that's important. You have to memorize addresses. Well, you don't have to memorize them in the critical test, but critical, and listen, guys, critical is a test all of it in its own because, because real 911 dispatching or call taking isn't even like that. Like, you'll never have people speaking that clearly to you. You'll never have people spelling out stuff like that clearly to you at all. But take advantage of that, take advantage of it, and keep on moving. Try to memorize addresses. Try to, if you know what city you want to work in and you know like the areas that, you know, certain agents like the police department patrols, they learn the streets, like the main streets, learn those, learn which way they go. If they go north to south or east to west, like learn the borders, because you're going to have to learn it at some point in your training. And it's just best to know it ahead of time. Sorry, guys. I don't know why I'm yawning. Probably because I'm tired, but, and I'm hot. Feel like I'm about to sweat out my hair. But I didn't want to turn the air on because it's loud, and I want y'all to be able to hear me. Desiree says that's a good tip at first ball. All right, weaves for less. Girl, weaves for less. I need some weave for less. Girl, for real, for real. YouTube don't pay me to the 21st. I need some weave for less now. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Not really, but I would like some weed for less. All right, she says, I was a 911 dispatcher for fire and rescue for 5 months. I loved it, but we were short 19 people, and the 14 hours of mandatory overtime was too overwhelming. Oh my gosh. Like, oh my gosh. I bet I can't even imagine, like, being mandated overtime 14 hours a week. Like, oh my gosh. Wow. We were short people, but first of all, when we were short, but they allowed us to sign up for overtime first. Then in those other places that needed to be filled in is where they would mandate us. But 14 hours. I only remember 1 week that they mandated like everybody. Everybody was mandated, and I think we had to do 8 hours. And that was 4 hours, you know, like either before hours was 4 hours before or 4 hours after. I was like, whoa, that's a lot. But I can't even imagine. I'm be praying for you, girl. Max at the Extreme says, question, is there a timer between questions during the critical test exam? Some sections of critical are timed, some are not. Some not some are timed, some are not. But you have to do, I think the best practice is to do everything with urgency. Mm-hmm. Key of me. Oh, wait. Furbow says, my people have a bland record. Yeah, you should. Like, if you want to be anything in law enforcement, your record definitely needs to be bland. That's for sure. Key of me says, have you ever done a voice stress analysis? That's what I have to do after they finish with my background. No, I haven't. I've never even heard of that. I don't even know what it is. I would like to know myself. Now I feel like I need to do some research. Something to do this weekend. Oh my gosh, weeds for less, 14 hours a day. So basically, if y'all work 5 days on, 2 days off, with this 14 hours of mandatory overtime, you have to come in on your off day and work an extra shift of 14 hours. Is that what I understand? Because, woo. Mm-mm. See, that's the thing with that overtime stuff is that, yeah, it's good money and stuff, but the stress of all of that, whew, like 911 calls honestly didn't start stressing me out until I gave my 2 week notice. Once I gave my 2 week notice, that's when those 911 calls started to get to me. That's when I started answering the phone like saying, I hope it's not bad. I hope it's not bad. Like that's what I'm saying as my recording is saying 911 was the address of the emergency. Like was literally like shaking in my boots. But that was like the only time I ever got nervous is when after I had put in my 2 week notice. I don't know if it was because I knew I was about to leave or what it was, but just about every call I took in that 2 weeks, like, mm, made me nervous. Um, all right, I'm gonna answer a few more of these. Dang questions. Somebody said, OMG, take your glasses off because that light is so annoying. Well, first of all, crazy fool. It's a pre-recorded video, so I can't like take them off now. And I'm sure I said in the video, sorry about the glasses, but hell, I can't see without my glasses. So I'm not gonna make a video without them. I can't see without glasses or contact lenses. So that's the pointer finger. Anyway, I have a comment from Jennifer. Says I tried doing a critical test today and failed the typing portion of the test. I just could not type fast enough. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna do a thumbs down. I'm just like, I'm sorry. Keep practicing. You got it. That's the thing, like y'all, the typing that you gotta know how to type. Like you have to know how to type. If you don't know how to type, you ain't gonna do it. Says, hey Laurie, your videos are great. I thank you so much for all the information you have provided. I've been through all of your videos, at least I think I have. Hey, I was wondering if you knew how many words per minute you need to pass the critical test. Every agency is different. Some say 30 words a minute, some say 35, some say 40, 45. Uh-oh, I thought, oh, okay, I thought my thing was froze because y'all ain't answering no questions. But some people say 40, 45 words per minute. It just really depends on the agency. But I would say that it would be 40, 45 would be good to, to have, be able to type. That way you good either any place you go. So my critical test, somebody said, watch this video only about 50 times before my exam this afternoon. And guess what? I passed. Yay! Said you were so much help. Oh, that's so good. Yay, 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 yay. Happy dance. Max to the extreme asked me, how many words a minute can you do? Ooh, good question. Drum roll. Last time I checked, it was like 64. So I type like 64, 62. I kind of fluctuate between 62 and 64. 60, yeah. So anywhere between 60 and 64. I never gone higher than 64. So yeah, 64. It ain't too bad. But like the more you type, the more you're able to type, the better you get at it. My friend is snapping me. I don't know if she watching or not. I don't know if she's watching or not. I'm just gonna listen to one of her snaps while I'm talking to y'all, so I can see if this is what she's talking about. Y'all, I could not find my AirPods. My phone just gave me a notification saying your AirPods was fine. If anybody out here love me a lot, if you have a left AirPod generation 1 that you feel like blessing my game with, I lost my I'm just kidding. Y'all don't have to give me nothing. I lost my AirPods in Detroit with my case that my friend Crystal had gave me. Oh my gosh, I didn't even know that AirPod was on my iPhone. I probably could have found them that day in Detroit, but I didn't know. And all I had was this one in my ear. I couldn't find my case or the left one. I bought this case off of a guy from Facebook. Now all I need is the left AirPod, and I'm back in business. Um, ugh, but it's been a struggle. I got these things for Christmas, like right before Christmas. So I'm even just proud that I held on to them that long, to be completely honest with you. Somebody said, well, rip it, or rip. Dang, that's fast. Well, thank you. I've been typing. I've been typing for a while, so oh no, I can't because she's talking about other stuff that I'm gonna have to like talk about, respond to. So yeah, I can type pretty fast. I used to probably could type faster. Now I type at work, but I don't type a whole lot like I did dispatching. So I'm sure I've dropped down to 60 or 58 or something like that. We'll see. Desiree says, I'm from Detroit. Oh, cool. We were just there for work. We took like 500 and some people and our staff, so probably close to 600 people to Detroit, 600 like students and educators, so half kids, half adults. We had a good time. Our kids stayed in Dearborn, and then I stayed downtown at the Ranson Marriott, like, and you can like basically see Canada just across the river, ocean, whatever we call it there, lake. So that was pretty neat. I've been to Detroit a few times now with work. Probably don't have to go back there with work anymore because we done. And our next big event is going to be in Texas. So that's exciting because now I get to go to Texas for like work, which is kind of weird that I live in Kansas now and I'm from Dallas, and I'm going to get to travel back to Dallas for work. So I kind of like that. Hey, Brad! I'm so happy that you're watching. Yay. Kia Me says, anything you can recommend when I start practicing or preparing for my eventual start date? Yeah. One, work on your typing. If you can't type, just practice that. But if you know the city that you're going to be working in, definitely start learning the streets, start learning which major streets there are, which direction those streets go. So if they go north or south, if they go east or west, like I was just saying, if the streets change names, like it starts out as First Street, and then it ends up turning into, Daddy Drive. Those things are important to know. Let's see. I used to have people, like, this is weird, but when I was in training, I used to have people to call me and I would talk to them with my windows down. Correction, I would tell them to roll their windows down so that it could mimic so that it could mimic if people were actually calling 911, like if it was like really loud. Like in my mind, I thought that would be helpful. Probably not, but that's what I used to do. It doesn't. I hear people like, I don't know. Ear training, I don't think you can really get ear trained or even work on that until you actually have something on your ear or in your ear and you're listening to it. And then you have to you'll learn which ear is your radio ear. My radio ear was my right ear. Any dispatchers on here can tell you, because I know it's a few of y'all that already work as dispatchers. What is your dispatcher ear? Is it your left ear or is your right ear? Like, I remember one day I was like, I'm going to take calls with my left ear, and I'm going to put my headset on the left side today. And I put my headset on the left ear and it just felt like, it felt like somebody just threw slime on me or something. Like, it was disgusting. Like, I could not hardly take 911 calls with the sound coming in my left ear like that. And I was like, oh, no, somebody might die. I need to put it on the right-hand side. So I put it on my right ear and, we're good. The headset, and I'm going way off the topic, but like I said, headsets, like so when I first went into dispatch, like I had a headset that went in my ear like that. I hated it. Like I said, there are other dispatchers on here and people in training and stuff like say, we've been talking this whole time. So if if you which ear do you hear out of? Or which ear do you take your calls out of? Um First ball says, oh, this is about my AirPods. I don't get the whole life of AirPods other than the case. I can get 8 hours listening on $20 Bluetooth that lasts for a year or two. I could carry a USB charger, replace the case if I need it. Oh, that's cool. I like the AirPods. I like the convenience of them. Like the crazy thing is when I don't have them with me and I have to answer my phone like regular and I have to say like hello. I have like a whole attitude like, where's my AirPod? I don't want to hold the phone up to my ear. Oh my gosh. Like life is over for me. So that's why I want a left one because I need another AirPod. Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyway, the $20 ones are cool, but these are greater, at least in my opinion. So you enjoy your $20 Bluetooth, and I'll try to find me a left AirPod. In the meantime, hopefully, Ray says, oh, cool, you're live. Yes, I'm live and in the flesh, at least for like another 9 minutes or so. Because see, listen, I've been on here for like an hour. That means I've been talking for like an hour. That's a lot of talking. A lot of talking. But y'all keep asking me questions. Okay, anyway, sorry. What brand? I've been looking for some. I don't know what y'all talking about. Yvette says, hi, hey. Master the Extreme. Is there any good amount / multiple choice questions in the critical? Good amount. I don't know what that means, or is there a good amount? Okay. Yes. There are some multiple choice questions on critical, but there are some things that require you to type in. I think on the map portion is multiple choice. On a few different areas is multiple choice. So yeah, not the whole test though. What did Bradford say? He said, right ear can't hear crap, but when I use my headset on my left ear, I have to use the phone on the left ear. I hate the left ear. Like, look, the AirPod that I have is a right AirPod because I can't hear. I can hear out of my left ear, but it's like it's not even trained. Like it's oh my gosh, the right ear is so bad. But man, that's crazy. Okay, sorry, I just had to read something else. There's things. The videos are awesome. I watch many of them. Very informative. Thank you, CF. Bradford says another tip for headset earpieces that you can go to an ear doctor and they can mold. Ooh, they can mold you one and make you an earpiece. Some agencies will pay for it, but typically it's out of pocket. Now that is for the dedicated dispatcher, like Bradford. He's pretty dedicated. That's really cool. A lot of people, like I remember when I first started dispatching, I put that thing in my ear. That one hurt my ear so bad that I couldn't even like deal with it. It hurt my ear inside, and then like all of this on my ear would be hurting. Like it was weird. My head, just like right here, it was like the strangest thing just on this side when I had the earpiece inside my ear. But then I got a over my head one. So it goes right here like a headphone and then a little, thing like that. So I'll be in there like Janet Jackson, hey, like control. No, just kidding. I never did that. Yvette says, thanks for the great info. You are so welcome. So welcome. Bradford says, it's especially great if you especially great if you love having an earpiece sitting in your ear. Yes. Bradford also said he hit his 8th year first of this month. So he knows like way more than me. I don't know why he don't have a channel. And I even asked him if he would interview with me one day. And then I moved to Kansas. So maybe Bradford and I would get together. I know Bradford from we worked together at an agency. So and he's like best friends with one of my really good friends from dispatcher, like from dispatching. So yeah, we hung out a lot. We hung out a few times. A few times. So 8 years is a lot. Like he's really good. Like really. Really good. First of all, says only 12 to go. Yvette, oh, before he can retire, probably. But that's the good thing about dispatching or working like for city agencies is that you can retire in 20 years, like, and receive benefits. And a lot of places, like, you can't really do that. You have to wait, certain, like, until you're a certain age. But when you work for like city government or state government and things like that, or certain jobs that you can retire in 20 years. So, I mean, I probably wouldn't. I want to stay 25 or 30 so I can get more cho-chos, but to each his own. Yvette says, thanks for sharing your videos on dispatching. I've learned so much from you. Oh, thank you. I'm glad I could help. Kia Me says, thank you so much. You've been helpful in this process. Oh, you're so welcome. Yvette says, keep them coming. I'm doing my research on 911 dispatch from you. I love your videos after work to study about. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Like, you guys, like I told y'all before, I'm hot. Like I told y'all before, if I can help somebody from my experience as a dispatcher, like I'm more than like happy to help. I haven't been a dispatcher in almost 2 years now, but I still have a lot of information. I think, y'all, I feel like I'm an old lady and having a damn hot flash. Woo! I turned the air off so I can, so y'all don't have to hear it. But geez, look. So like I told you, I found my notebook from when I was in training. And so I have lots of really good notes. You see, I like to doodle, clearly. I have lots of good notes. And since I'm not as busy at work anymore right now, I want to go through through some of these and really talk about training and, just some of those things that you'll learn. But I think that a lot of my notes are pretty specific to the agency that I worked at. However, I think that a lot of it is pretty pertinent. So I won't share things with you like syntax, which are in codes and things like that. But I will explain to you like some of the codes that we had and like how they relate to what you might have. Or some of the things like, now that I'm looking at this, I'm thinking of like different like biohazardous things. So we have to know, like when you have like the biohazard colors, you have like blue and yellow and red. So you have to, and white, you have to know which one of those, like which colors mean what, and all of that stuff. And I think that's on the state test as well. I can't remember. Like I said, that was a while ago. And the state test is, the state test is, I don't think it's timed. I really don't think it's timed, but it doesn't take you long to do. And where I worked, like they said that nobody had ever failed the test. And so I didn't want to be the first to fail. So I just I was like, I got to work hard so I can pass this shit. For real. Yvette says, in the background check, do they see your personal Facebook and Instagram pages? Girl, everybody looks at those. Anytime like now, if I'm looking for somebody, if I were to get a name like of anybody that wanted to work for me as an employee, I would look them up on Facebook. That's like the first thing I would do. I look them up on Facebook. When I used to have to hire people, like we used to have to hire teenagers that work at a summer camp, and I always would look at their Facebook pages, and Instagram was the first thing I did. So yes, they will probably look at your Facebook and your Instagram pages. I don't know. I can't say that for certain, but I know if I were looking to hire you, I would. But that's just me. And you say you don't use your real name. Well, then I guess you don't have anything to worry about then. But again, like I said, they will probably look. So That's on you. Darian says, hi. Hey, Darian. Do you need a college degree to be a dispatcher? I'm in college and heard you don't need any degree. You do not need a degree to be a 911 dispatcher. You do need a high school diploma or equivalency. But no, you don't need a college degree. However, some people do have college degrees. I have a college degree. Some people there have college degrees. Just depends. Um, it just depends on you. I think that is life experience is really good. But I knew some really young dispatchers and they did an amazing job. I also knew some older dispatchers who didn't do an amazing job. So yeah. Bradford says of the agencies I've applied for is hit or miss. It's an agency specific request. Some in the hiring process, they'll ask you for your social media public for viewing and provide the names. Yep. I think it was when I applied for, I want to say DART, which is the Dallas Area Rapid Transit. Like I want to say they asked me for like my Facebook and Instagram names. I was like, I'm not giving y'all that. I ain't giving y'all that stuff. And and so I gave it to him though, but I made it private. So Yvonne says, what's the difference between a dispatcher and a call taker? Oh, a call taker only takes calls. They take 911 calls. An agency that I worked at, they also did non-emergency calls. Non-emergency stuff, and then different. So if you had, sorry, I'm so sorry, y'all. It's been too long. I can't take it anymore. To do non-emergency calls and then like other different random tasks. And so like people used to call and ask if you could tell them how to get to the DMV. Anyway, so that's a call taker. Dispatcher, you are speaking with an officer or a fire or somebody from the fire department. So you are taking the information that the call taker gathers and you are giving that information to the officer. The agency that I worked at, we had call takers and we had dispatchers. So call takers, you just had to take calls. That's all you did was take calls. And dispatchers, PD dispatchers only did police dispatching. Now, the agency that I was at, we also had fire dispatch and the NCIC. People who were trained on fire, they didn't necessarily have to take calls and dispatch at the same time. But if there were calls ringing overhead, they could, like some certain ones of them could answer the phone during that time. Or you had people who were sitting at a station that is like almost like a dual role. So you're call taking and helping out with dispatching if somebody needed to take a break or if, the phones were overloaded or the, traffic, all of that stuff. So again, it depends on your agency. Like I say, the agency I worked for, we had call takers and dispatchers. There are some smaller agencies that only have one person. So you're the call taker, the police dispatcher, the fire dispatcher, and the NCIC dispatcher. Like you do everything. Kudos to those people because I couldn't probably do it. I think that would be a lot. But like I was telling somebody earlier, it is a lot at first and it is overwhelming at first. But once you start doing it and you get a lot more comfortable with it, you get the hang of it, you start to feel a little more relaxed when you're doing it. And you don't, it's not as much thinking. It's more of like just natural doing because you know what to do. So instead of me thinking, oh, what is the code for this? Like, what do I have to type in? Because this officer just asked me to run somebody complete. Like, I didn't have to think about it at a time. Like, oh, I know that this is da 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 da, and he should give it to me in this order. But if he doesn't give it to me, like last name, first name, gender, race, date of birth, if he doesn't give it to me in the order that I need it, I need to know how to listen so that I can remember Here they go. So that I can remember what they said. Ooh, I hope that made sense. He says, how well can you juggle a dispatcher job and education? Oh, me personally, I was in school. Well, sorry guys. I was in school when I was dispatching, and I also did nannying. So it was hard for me because I was doing too much. Like I literally, like at one point, I worked for most of my career as a dispatcher. I worked second shift, so that was from like 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. and I had like a little nannying job that I did in the mornings from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then I would go to work from 3 to 11. And then I would do like school work, either sometimes when I was at work, because like, the phones don't ring all night. So you're not constantly, working. But I always had something to do. And so like in my downtime at work, I would read. And when I was with the baby, when she wasn't awake, I would take a test or do whatever I needed to do. But it was crazy, especially when I got mandated to stay at overtime. So I had to stay 4 hours. So I didn't get off work till 3 a.m. So that means that I didn't get home and get settled down till like 4. And then I had to get up and be with the baby at 8. Days like that, we slept all day. So it's a lot. It's a lot, but you just have to really focus and really just focus on the prize and learn how to multitask and do what you got to do. Like I said, I used to do some school work at work. Is that I had to learn that I had some downtime at work. So let me go ahead and get something done while I can. Maximize your time. Yvette says, do you start as a call taker first? Is it the same training as a dispatcher, correct? You do start where I worked. So everything is agency specific. So I would assume that you would start out taking calls, because I feel like when you're a good call taker, you can be a great dispatcher. Because I know like the really, really good dispatchers that I've heard, they take really good notes in their calls because they're great dispatchers and they know that it all works together. So typically you're a call taker first. When you're a call taker, you learn what questions to ask. You don't have to memorize those things because agencies have what they call SOPs, and you can look up which questions you need to ask for specific call natures or call types. So once you ask those questions, it's just, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting distracted. I see other comments coming in. I'm trying not to read them out loud. Dispatcher training is different. Dispatcher training is different because you have to learn, all of the radio stuff. You have to learn how to give traffic on the radio, how to call things out on the radio. You have to make sure that you understand the phonetics. And so it's a whole different training and a different course. So it is not the same. At least at the agency that I worked at, it was not the same. You did call taking, you got released from call taking, and then you worked a certain amount of time, and then you started your training for dispatcher. You do your classroom training, you do your OJT training, and then you are released. That's how it was where I worked. Like I said, I'm sure it's different in some other places, but that's just what it was for me. Will says, hey, I got offered the job as a 911 dispatcher. I start later this month. Excited. Yay, congratulations. Good luck to you. Start learning your streets now. I like to tell people that. I don't know. You have callers all the time that are going to call you and say, I don't know where I am. And you can see it, or they'll say, I'm going westbound on this street. And you know that street doesn't go westbound, but they'll tell you it goes westbound. And some people argue with you that it's going westbound. And it's like, that it doesn't go that way. And so you just have to ask them like kind of like which side of the street or where were you going? So where were you coming from? And then that'll help you to gain a clear perspective of which way on the street are they going, westbound or eastbound? Because that's important to know so that you can let the officers know or the fire department know, because that depends on, sometimes it depends on like which way they need to turn around or which street they need to go to. So yeah. And if you don't do it right, your dispatcher is going to yell at you. They might yell across the room like, which side of the street? Are they eastbound or are they westbound? And you don't want them, the dispatcher to have you call the person back. Oh my gosh. Like, how crazy is it that the 911 people call you back like, ma'am, where are you now? Like, which way are you going? So it's important to know and get those things at the beginning, because they will have you call back. And sometimes it'd be the officers, because the dispatcher, they don't be trying to make you do it. The officers will be like, have them calling back. I do not want to call these people back. That was so embarrassing to me. So unless it was absolutely necessary, like, ma'am, the police are outside, can you come open the door? Like, I'm fine with that. But when I used to have to get more information, I don't know. So I started getting too much information. I'm going to fill up my damn notes, because I'm not calling these people back. I'm not going to be like Halle Berry on the call. I'm not going to do it. Everybody say, congratulations, Will. Yvette said, what's the hardest for you in a classroom setting? Honestly, I have ADHD. That is 100% honest to you. I take medicine every day. I've had this ailment since I was a kid. And that was the hardest part, is sitting in the classroom, like literally sitting there and reading and having to do all of that stuff, because it's hard for me to sit still. I mean, you see how fidgety I am just making videos for y'all. So just sitting in that classroom like that was hard. But kind of learning new things, because, as an adult, a more mature woman, learning isn't always, it's pretty easy, but when you're learning something new, like I'd never worked in law enforcement, anything to do with law enforcement or telecommunicating, or dealing with people in immediate crisis. Like the first time that I had to take a 911 call by myself, like after I had finished my OJT and my trainer wasn't connected to me anymore, man, I thought I was about to lose my shit. Like I thought I was about to lose my mind, because I just didn't think I could do it. But because it was, it was hard and I didn't trust myself that first call. But I realized then that, listen, girl, nobody in here can help you anymore. Nobody's tethered to you anymore. Like you got to do this. Like these people are calling you for help. So you can't be the one who cracking under pressure or who can't figure it out or kind of worried about it. But that first 911 call that I took by myself was like this. I don't remember what it was, but I was so afraid. But after that, I wasn't really afraid anymore until, like I told y'all, I put in my 2-week notice. And when I gave 2-week notice, that's when I started getting nervous about the calls. I'll be like, please don't be bad. Please don't be bad. And I don't know. So that was the hardest part, sitting still. I say I love your dramatics. Thank you, girl. But that's just me. It's just how I am. Got any good dispatch stories, caller-wise? Max, you got to watch my videos. Like, I got a few story time videos. And it just depends on, like, what's good. See, good is different to everybody. And then when you become a 911 dispatcher, like, or a call taker, whatever you want to be called, you start thinking about things differently. Like, what's funny to some people, if I told y'all a story that I thought was funny, you probably wouldn't think that it was funny. And you'd be like, that shit ain't funny. Or like, I don't know about that. So it definitely made me have like a weird sense of humor. I know that's kind of weird, but if you're a dispatcher or call taker, you know exactly what I mean. It's like some of the things I would chuckle at, Because I was like, I can't believe that you just called about this. Like, trust me. Like, there's a TV show, and again, I'm not going to go into in depth about this because I'm really tired of talking. It's been over an hour. It's this show called Sex Sent Me to the ER. And let's just say that I've taken a couple of those sex sent me to the ER phone calls. Phone calls that, people have literally been in a certain position or a certain way for a lengthy period of time because they were a bit embarrassed to have to call. So yeah, I might do a sex send me to the ER series. Now I can't call it that because they'll flag my video and I can't get paid for it. But if y'all are interested in something like that, let me know down below or on the side right now. Cause I think I have like 3 sex send me to the ER stories that I can think of like off the top of my head. So if y'all are interested in those, like, let me know. I don't like talking about that kind of stuff because I can only imagine, like, the things you hear are one thing, but like to actually have to see them would be like something totally different. So if like, yeah. Yvette, so your message is being held, so I will answer your question out loud. But when I worked there, I didn't have to take medicine because it was just so much for me to do. I was never distracted. Like, I mean, we have 6 monitors on call taker screen and 8 on NCIC. I mean, I felt like that was ADHD heaven because I always had like something to do. It was never a dull moment. And that's how I was able to, like just do so much stuff, like work and all of that stuff because it was just so much. So yeah. Anywho, guys, so some of y'all want to hear all of these stories. So maybe I'll come on tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow I'm going to Taco Fest. Y'all know I moved to Wichita. Maybe I'll vlog. If y'all want to see a vlog about that, let me know. I actually have a vlog from the karaoke contest that I just haven't even done yet. Like, actually, wait. Yeah, I haven't even done it. I still have all the videos that I need to upload on here. So I'm sorry. Like I told y'all, like I didn't tell y'all this part, but like I was working over 80 hours for like the last 3 or 4 weeks. So like the whole month of July, like out of there. End of June, beginning of July. So that's where I've been. I've been working. Your girl been getting it in, grinding. So yes, I've been trying to work. How about for class? I don't know what that means. How about for class? I took mine in EMT school, but it put me on edge. Do you think I would be fine with it in class? I mean, that's not a question I would be able to answer for you because I don't know you. I don't know how your medication makes you feel. I would say go without it. See how that works for you. And if it works for you without it, then it works for you without it. And if it doesn't, then you have to figure out what'll work for you. I think that's the best thing I can suggest. But yes, I'm gonna go to Taco Fest tomorrow. I ain't never been in a Taco Fest before. So we'll see how it goes. Again, like I said, I'll try to vlog some so y'all can see that. I know a lot of people don't watch my vlogs like that, but maybe you should. If you like how dramatic I am on here, just imagine how it would be with some margaritas in the system, okay? But thank you guys so much for watching. I know it's been a long video, but it's been a great video. And I'm just happy that I could help you guys. Tonight was really, really good. Is it pretty? Is it pretty nosy with other pretty noisy with other callers taking call? Yeah. No, not really, unless, sorry, I was doing like a little outro video and then I see some messages coming up, so I don't want to like cut them off. Like, I want to answer those questions before I leave. He's basically saying, is it noisy in the call room, call taking room? Not necessarily always. It just depends on what's going on. If there's something like big going on and a lot of people are calling, then yes, it can get noisy because you hear everybody talking and you hear everybody talking, and it's, you hear all of that and you hear people talking, and then sometimes the phones are ringing overhead. If it's like a lot of calls coming in at once, our overhead phone system will ring just to let people know, like, hey, the damn phones are ringing. Somebody answer the phone. And if the phones are ringing overhead, that usually means that the person who they went to directly couldn't answer the phone. So it'll ring overhead, so somebody will get it in a certain amount of time. Days like that, it is noisy. Or if you have a caller who isn't listening to you, and you have to say, sir, 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 I need you to listen to me, sir, sir. Like, when you have to do that, then it gets a little noisy, and then people start laughing. Or just like, they'll send you a message like, damn, or they'll open your call, because you can see like all of the calls that are like in the queue and, whatever like that. You can see all of them. So people start reading a call like, what the hell is going on? Like, why are you like having to talk loud to this person? I'm like, that fool would not listen to me. Like, they are screaming at somebody else, and I'm trying to get him to listen to me so I can get the freaking address. I can't even understand the damn address. Like, and it's not even, it's like a phase 1 address or whatever. Like, phase 1 is probably not the right one I'm thinking. Phase 3 address, there's nothing coming up. So anywho, yeah, not too noisy. Most of the time, it ain't bad. You kind of isolate. When you're taking a call, you really focused on the call and the background noise that's going on in the call. At least I was. But then sometimes you have your dispatcher yelling at you across the room, like, hey, find out, da, 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 da. So you have to listen to them with your other ear, so you get that information. Anyway, guys, I gotta go. I don't even know what time it is. Oh, it's almost 10 o'clock. Y'all got me up late. I'm supposed to be out in these streets. Yes, thank you all. I am going to enjoy Taco Fest. I'm probably going to go to the pool in the earlier part of the day, get some sun, some vitamin D, because, y'all, I'm trying to get not quite special edition dark chocolate brown, but I want to get like just a little bit more color this summer. I like the dark chocolate me. I really, really do. It looks good on me. So anyway, definitely hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to rate it, comment, and subscribe. Also, click the notification bell so you can be notified when I drop a video. And send me an email if you have any questions, and let me know what types of videos you like to see. So I'll see y'all probably tomorrow if I drop a video tomorrow. We'll see. Bye, guys.